I was working out early in the morning, and then Emily came outside while I was working out. She knew that I was going to be attempting the world record. I had mentioned it to her the night before. And I was like, so, I'm a world record holder now. And she's like, that's awesome. And I was like, do you see me any differently? She's like, yeah, you're way sexier now.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
I ran until my muscles burned and my veins pumped battery acid.
More powerful than a locomotive.
An idea is like a virus. Resilient. Highly contagious.
Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound.
All right, guys, this week on the Betterhumanology podcast, Talon and I teach you how to break a world record in 12 hours because we both did it. So we're actually broadcasting now as two unofficial world record holders. Congratulations, Talon, on your achievement.
Congratulations, Jared. Thank you very much. It feels great.
Yeah, so we had this idea. Almost forgot again. I'm Jared Moon, Talon Schwam.
Talon Schwam, that's me.
You're host for the Betterhumanology podcast. Anyway, so we saw this this Marine recently, or I guess once a Marine, always Marine. I was going to say ex-Marine. So we saw this Marine who was breaking a world record recently in the news. He wanted to break the world record for longest plank held. And let's see, he held it for like between 3 and 4 hours, maybe longer. I can't really remember now. And I was like, man, that is freaking awesome. Like, that is a long-ass plank. Sent it to Talon, because Talon is like...
I love that stuff.
The guy when it comes to... back in the day when we were training together and stuff in the Air Force, he was like the wall sit master, the master of the 6-inch hold, the plank, and all this other stuff. So I sent it to him legitimately asking, like, hey, man, you think you could beat this? Maybe with a little bit of training. We decided not something that we could do within 12 hours.
No.
And so we started to do a little bit more research and decided we wanted to be unofficial world record holders, but submit our world records to Guinness for approval. And what could we do? So we got on the website and started looking, and now here we are.
And it's that easy almost. It just really kind of depends on what you pick, but we found things that could push us both and that were doable, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty happy. Got a world record. I mean,
does it feel different to have a world record? I mean, has anybody noticed?
Not really. So I did it yesterday, and I was working out early in the morning, and then Emily came outside while I was working out. She knew that I was going to be attempting the world record. I had mentioned it to her the night before, and I was like, so, I'm a world record holder now. And she's like, that's awesome. And I was like, do you see me any differently? She's like, yeah, you're way sexier now. So, I mean, holding a world record definitely has its perks, even whether how big or how small the world record is. I mean, it might help you get the ladies. I don't know. So,
I mean, how could it not, right? It just makes you ooze confidence having a world record.
Yeah, so chicks dig scars and chicks dig world records. So, I want to know more about your world record, man. What did you do, and how did you find it?
Yeah, so for me, when you first brought the idea, I was like, hey, let's try to get some world records for the show. I was like I was excited, but I was hesitant because I was like, world record is a big deal. Like, I'm an athlete. I don't think I'm a world-class athlete. I think I can push myself, like you said, through some tough things sometimes. But, I don't put myself at like a Olympic level, and that's what I think when I think of world-class. So I started looking up, some of the more doable, more breakable records. And but all I found was crazy stuff. I found like how many marshmallows can you fit in your mouth in a minute? Like how long can you hold one single hug between two people? Like it was stuff that was breakable, but not anything that I felt like would make me a better human.
How long was the hug?
It was 24 hours actually. It's like 24 hours and
Dude, that sounds incredibly awkward.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like, that'd be one that me and you could do, knock out easy. And I was like, I don't know.
That's not the record I want, man.
I like my man Jared, but I don't know about hugging him 24 hours. You're probably right. That would get a little awkward. But, it was fun, even just researching different records. But what I came to is like, I really got to find something that pushed me, because that's what it comes down to, is just trying to become a better human, right? So I was trying to find something that pushed me physically and mentally, and So I ended up finding star jumps. So star jumps are kind of a weird thing. Do you know what star jumps are?
I didn't until yesterday.
Yeah. So so star jumps they're kind of like a jumping jack, but you kind of start from almost a squatted position and then jump up and create like almost like a 5-point star with your limbs and your head included. And so, I'd only done star jumps probably like a handful of times before that I'd found the record. But when I saw the record, I was like, okay, I know star jumps are kind of a tougher exercise. If you do them, a lot of them back to back because it's an explosive exercise. And I haven't done a whole lot. And so it pushed me into a realm I haven't, got to experience too much of. So I was excited when I found it, and it sounded doable. So the record was 77 when I found it. And after 3 attempts, the first one was totally a failure. I got like 63 jumps or something like that because I thought the record was much lower than it actually was. Went to the wrong site. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah.
But
GuinnessWorldRecords.com.
I will say the record is actually 77, and today, not too long before this podcast, because I really had to push myself to get to it, I hit 81 and got the new unofficial world record.
Well, dude, congratulations.
Thank you,
star
sir.
Jumps. I did a little bit of, after you told me the star jump thing, just right before we hopped on the podcast, I did a little Googling just to look up star jumps and stuff, and that is a pretty sought-after world record. I did not know that. I don't know if because people see it as like an easy kill or something, but there were like all these videos of like people trying it, and like everyone's form is terrible. Like, because some people are like, "Oh, I got 120," but they're doing like that like weird Russian dance where like.
Oh yeah,
where you're like squatting down
the whole time. Yeah,
it looks like they just kind of stay in that position and like raise their arms 120 times in the video, and people are like, that doesn't count. But like I found an entire website that was like people trying the star jump one. But as it stands,
really?
The world record currently officially is 77, and you got 81 today doing some
81.
legitimate reps.
That's right. Videotape the first go around, but I will need to videotape to submit and get an official tally so I can be on the Guinness World Record books.
Yeah, we're gonna get that locked in.
That's right. Gain some credibility for you guys.
Yeah, world record holders right here.
That's right. So tell me about what you did, Jared.
Yeah, so I was looking around just out of curiosity. I wanted to know kind of what some of the physical records were. And I landed on squats because I like to squat, big barbell squatter type of guy. And because I do a lot of volume work, like how much volume can I do in a certain amount of time, and I actually found some world records that had volume in them. Guys like completing the most amount of volume of a back squat in like 24 hours and 1 hour and all this other stuff. And so I was like, okay, let me check out this guy who did 60 minutes. And he actually did it on like the Regis and Kelly show, and it was I did the math with like how much the volume was and how much weight he lifted, and it was something equivalent of doing 15 repetitions of 135 pounds every minute on the minute for 60 full minutes. And I was like, not gonna happen. That's something a little bit.
That's a lot of reps.
A little too crazy for me, and I don't know if I'll be able to knock it out. I want to get kind of like I said earlier, an easy kill, something that I could for sure break. And then also in the squatting section, I found this guy. I think his name is Patty Doyle, which after researching him a little bit more, he holds a ton of world records. So I feel like he's just trying to like maybe hold the world record for most world records. I don't know, but he has these two records, and it's 60 seconds, just like yours, for most squats with a 60-pound pack on, and one with an 80-pound pack on. So he did 44 repetitions of the squat with 60-pound pack. And so I was like, that doesn't sound challenging at all. And so I tried it out before my workout yesterday and was like, let me give it a try. And I got like halfway through, and like I was already at 30 seconds, I was like at 30 reps. And I was like, oh man, I only got 14 more. It's going to be easy. And so I stopped and rested for it's probably like 2 or 3 seconds max. But I was a little intimidated by the fact, as you were kind of saying earlier, like I don't see myself as a world-class athlete, even though I thought that this would be an easy world record to break. I still kind of psyched myself up and took this unnecessary break and was like, I don't want to fatigue. I don't want to go to muscle failure. But anyway, kept going, pushed through, and ended up with 54 am pretty sure I could do more if I didn't break because I really don't think I needed to. So 10 repetitions more than the world record.
Absolutely demolished it.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that there are definitely people listening to this podcast who could probably beat my record, and just because I know some people who can knock out stuff like that.
Right.
Just
yeah.
easy, man. I mean...
Yeah, like you were talking about in the comments, like the comments that I read for the Star Jump one, like, yeah, there's probably like 20 people who were like, yeah, like you said, I did 90, I did 120, that just crushed my record, but, that's fine. Maybe listeners out there can crush my record as well, and I hope they do, because, it's just fun to compete.
But we're submitting. We're going straight to Guinness.
That's right.
We want it official.
To the horse's mouth. I know this wasn't an experiment, but, what do you think trying to complete a Guinness World Record, trying to break one, what do you think it does for people? Do you think can it help us become a better human?
Yeah, man, I think a really cool aspect to this is, so you and I got kind of excited about it for, a little bit of time, and we were looking for all these things to push ourselves, and we ended up doing 2 activities we would not have done otherwise,
right,
in an attempt to get it. So I think it definitely is kind of fun to do just as an activity. It pushes you mentally and physically. I mean, we were in the 60-second domain, so it's not like a crazy one like, some of those endurance, like holding the plank for 3 hours, but it's still really fun to do, and it was still challenging, and we got to push ourselves. So I think definitely can, make you a better human, and I think moving forward, I want to try some more records, maybe some more legitimate or challenging ones in the future.
Yeah, that's why I think it did for me, is I think it helps for anybody, I think, that tries to break a record. Even though the very first time I did it, I didn't come close, it still helped me build confidence in the aspect of just going through and trying to overcome more challenges and new things. That's just what it did for me, I guess. And now that I've broken one, it makes me want to try and get to the next thing, the next challenge I can, overcome. Like I'm already looking at, you mentioned some of the more endurance-based exercises. Well, I'm already looking at, how can I get to 32 or 33 minutes on a 6-12 inch, leg hold like you brought up earlier, and get a world record there. So I love how just going out and pushing yourself beyond your bounds, helps build mental toughness and sets you up for more challenges and starts that mindset that I want to have to just continuously want to break and overcome new bounds.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned we had talked previously or last night or something, and you were talking about how what else it can do is because you can make up your own world record with Guinness. Like you can just like challenge yourself to like whatever stipulation you want involved to become a world record holder. They have to accept it, and you have to go through that process and everything. But I think that's a great way to also kind of think outside the box and push yourself mentally. And
I totally agree. I think anytime that we force ourselves to think differently or use our minds abstractly, I think, and even if you've come through so many stipulations that you do ultimately get a world record just because of the fact that you built so many stipulations, that in itself I think betters yourself because you're using your mind differently. Every time you do that, I feel like we have to be improving, right?
Yeah, I mean
I'm on board with you, my man.
It's all progress. So we're going Better Human approved for trying to set a world record or setting world records?
Yeah,
from 2 unofficial world record holders?
Absolutely approval. That's right. I mean, I feel like it made me better, made me feel better.
So I do want to go one step further here and just go ahead and throw the challenge out there to everyone listening today. Our numbers. Talon, you got, 81 star jumps, 60 seconds?
81 star jumps beat me. I know you can.
I got 54 squats with a 60-pound pack in 60 seconds. Go for it. And if you think that you have what it takes to beat us, we would like to hear about it. So you can tweet us. I am at EO3Fit. That's the number 3, so EO3Fit. And Talon, what's your Twitter?
I'm at this guy tries 24/7.
Are there any dashes or spaces?
No dashes.
This guy tries 24/7 and 247 the numbers, right?
Correct, because that's what I do.
Cool. So hit us up on the tweets,
the Twitterverse,
and let us know, or Instagram or whatever. I'd love to hear about people smashing our records, smashing world records, and we take this Better Human revolution even further than it has already gone.
That's right. Dare to become better human.
All right, man. So, I mean, we got this world record. We're challenging people to try it out, but, like, why do you think it's worth anyone's time or why do you think people should be looking to do something like this, whether it's easy or hard or whatever?
Nowadays, I feel like people just kind of drift through life sometimes. Maybe not everybody, but I think the general populace, has their job, has their family, maybe has their pet or something like that, and that's their entire day. Like there isn't really not much thinking involved in between activities. It's a routine, and people just kind of succumb to the routine, I feel like. So it's important to break through from that and try to be aware in every minute that you can be. Try and do something new, try and be aware of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and just lengthen out your time and break boundaries. I don't know, I just think it's important to always try to step outside your bounds.
Dude, and just thinking what you said, kind of people drifting or whatever. I'm reading, almost done with the book, actually. It's, forget the title. If you've read Think and Go Rich, by Napoleon Hill, about Andrew Carnegie, this is kind of their transcripts, and it's about it's like the principles of success, Andrew Carnegie's principle of success or something like that. Anyway, I think there are like 17 of them. I haven't finished the book yet, but I'm getting towards the end, and Napoleon Hill asks him, he's like, okay, like how can people fail? Sometimes failure is more of a lesson than anything else.
Right.
And so he's got 17 ways to succeed, and then he's like, whoa, here are 45 ways that you can suck at life and fail. Wow. And the first one, I'll tie this all back, but the first one was people living, kind of drifting through life with no definite purpose and not knowing what they're doing. Like exactly what you said, they're just kind of droning through, not very aware of what's going on. They're just kind of, okay, I got all my boxes checked for today, move on the next day, check more boxes. So I think, I don't know, just complete agreement with being aware of what's going on and having a purpose in your life. I'm not saying your purpose has to be breaking world records or doing whatever the hell we're saying to do, but challenging yourself and having a purpose that's greater than, like you said, just taking care of your dog or whatever. Right. So I think complete agreement, awareness and purpose, man. I think that's a great way, to challenge people to think outside the box and try something outside their comfort zone today.
I'm totally agree. Awareness and purpose. Incorporate it into your life. Don't forget to, if you're a fan of the show, don't forget to go to iTunes. If you think we deserve 5 stars, please go ahead and rate us 5 stars. We greatly appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. Helps us keep bringing you.
Or just click the 5 stars either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
I mean, if you misclick the 5 stars, hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. Give it a 5 star and a positive comment or review, maybe.
That would be fantastic. Helps us out a lot.
And
keep bringing you guys new stuff.
And I will tack on there head over to betterhumanology.com. Got a lot of free stuff coming. It's going to be well worth your time to go ahead and sign up for a free membership at betterhumanology.com.
Thanks.
Boom. Bye.
Same.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Better Humanology podcast. If you want to know about any of the resources we talked about, head on over to betterhumanology.com and check out the podcast show notes. Likewise, we have betterhumanology.com/toolbox, where you can find every resource that we've ever talked about on the podcast. So go check it out. Until next time, here's to becoming a better human.
Your best. Losers always whine about their best.